Welcome to Marketing and Mindset for Wellness Coaches, the podcast for health coaches and wellness entrepreneurs just like you who are building a business, making the world a healthier place, and designing a first-class life. I'm your host, Kim Foster, MD and certified business coach, and I'm on a mission to help you up-level your strategy and raise your mindset so you can truly thrive and grow your business. Let's get started. Well, hey there. Welcome to today's episode. How to practice good self-care has been one of the most important things for me to learn as I've grown my business. And it's been one of the most important things to keep me in alignment and keep me growing and successful and happy at the same time, instead of pushing and forcing and being stressed out and overwhelmed. So in today's episode, I want to talk to you about self-care and how to keep yourself in an energy of happiness and power and inspiration, so that you can go out there and inspire people to work with you and inspire people to follow you without burning yourself out. So let's get started. The truth is, I can easily tend toward workaholism. I know this about myself now, but I'm not sure I always knew this. Self-care is currently a big priority for me, and it actually has been for a few years, ever since I went through my own health crisis that I have spoken about on this podcast in the past. But if I'm honest, I do go through seasons where I kind of neglect my own self-care a little, and I eventually start to feel it. And I decided that right now is an important time to talk about self-care for entrepreneurs. And of course, I'm referring to this pandemic crisis that we're all going through right now. So while this topic is timely, it's also timeless, because self-care is not only important when there is a global crisis happening. But right now, I am feeling a ton of worry and uncertainty out there, especially in the entrepreneurial space. And I'm also seeing a lot of frantic busyness, as in, let's all figure out what to do about our businesses. And I'm noticing a lot of leaders are coming out with content that's all about how to pivot and how to improve sales and how to message right now. And I am definitely all in for that. In fact, my episode a couple of weeks ago was about what to do inside your business right now. But I'm also feeling that there needs to be a bit of balance with some basic things in terms of self-care, because you are your business's most important asset. Never mind sprucing up your website and rebranding and refreshing all your content, all the things that people are telling you to do right now. I mean, yes, if you have the bandwidth for all that stuff right now, then yes, do that. But not before you have taken care of your business's most important asset, which is you. More so than ever before, right now, what's going on in the world with the pandemic we are currently dealing with, self-care is paramount. Now, if you're listening to this episode way in the future, when the pandemic crisis is a memory, of course, these self-care tips will be useful to you too, because this is an always thing. So definitely keep listening to today's episode. Actually, I kind of like the idea of talking to people in the future. I feel like I'm creating a little time capsule here, talking about what's going on right now, but knowing that people will be listening to this at some point in the future, and hopefully the world will be in a much better place. So I kind of like envisioning the future listeners who are on the other side of this crisis. Okay, anyway, the point is, whether you're with me now in the eye of the storm or whether you're in the future, welcome to this episode, get comfortable, and let's talk about real self-care for entrepreneurs. Today, I want to help you design a self-care routine that is very easy to implement, yet very effective to keep you in a receiving mode in your business. As an entrepreneur, I am sure that you have experienced times where you felt really stressed out and maybe overwhelmed, and maybe your body was giving you symptoms of stress and anxiety too. For me, headaches are my most reliable sign. I get migraines, and they're usually under pretty good control unless I'm going through a lot of stress. And then I start getting a ton of migraines and headaches. Basically, this is my body sending me a powerful signal that I need to slow down or take better care of myself or otherwise make some kind of change. And I am a huge believer that the body says no. So how does your body say no? Is it digestive havoc? Is it your skin? Do you get breakouts when you're stressed? Is it your joints? Do they start to ache? Is it fatigue? It's so important to tune into those signals. Pay attention when your body is saying no, and then make adjustments. Because obviously, when you're feeling like that, overly stressed and physically decompensating, how can you possibly do the work that you are here to do? As a coach in particular, it is going to be very difficult for you to inspire your clients or inspire people around you when you can't even inspire yourself. You just can't give from an empty cup. So taking the time to take good care of yourself is not just an optional luxury, it's an absolute must when you're an entrepreneur, and especially when you're a coach. This is something that I talk to my clients about all the time. I always insist that my clients, who are all generally speaking coaches of one variety or another, I really insist that they take exquisite care of themselves. We all need a self-care routine. That's what will help you be in your power and moving toward your goals and back on the road to success. So to design your self-care routine, I want you to think about 3 things: your mind, your body, and your soul. Let's start with your mind. A powerful mind is full of positive thoughts, and positive thoughts lead to powerful actions that will lead to results. When you're stuck in a funk and all you've got are negative thoughts, how do you get yourself out? Well, there's a sequence of things that I do that you can start doing right away too. And it starts with your morning routine. It is so important to start your day on the right note. And the first thing that I want you to do is think about gratitude. When you're starting a day off with gratitude, you really do feel better instantly. I personally start my day with my journal, and the very first thing I write about every single day is something that I feel grateful for. So some days this is going to be a big thing or like a big win that I experienced in my business. And some days it's my family and my boys. Someday it's our health or our home or the abundance that's coming to us. This beautiful city that I live in, knowing that the universe has my back and that all I need to do is go forward powerfully with my intention to do good in the world, and I'll be supported no matter what. And sometimes it's for my Nespresso machine. Actually, that turns up on my gratitude list fairly often because I do my journaling while I'm having my morning coffee. So your gratitude could be for small things or big things. It really doesn't matter, and it's going to change every single day. So just let it flow. But take a few minutes to think about what you're thankful for, what you're so grateful for, and see how amazingly beautiful and powerful you'll feel. The next thing that I want you to do is pick an emotion of the day. Now, this could be in the form of an affirmation or an intention or kind of like a mantra, but just encapsulate how you want to feel and what you want to think or believe as the day goes forward. So today, my affirmation was very simple. Everything is going to be okay. Because although that sounds simple and maybe even obvious, there have been moments during this pandemic that I have doubted that basic truth. So I write it down at the beginning of the day. Everything is going to be okay. And then I repeat it to myself throughout the day. The next thing that I want you to do while you're still in your journal is to write your reality into existence. So once you're done with gratitude and you're clear on the emotion you want to feel today, then I want you to write about things as if they're already true. For example, I have an abundance of clients. My home is paid off. My debt is paid off. I'm with the love of my life. My clients are amazing. They're having results every day. My bank account is full. My body is energetic. I'm free. I'm living in this world and I can do anything I want to do and nobody is holding me back. Basically, whatever thoughts are coming to you, there is no right or wrong. These are kind of like goals or objectives, but you're going to write them as if they are actually already in existence. So just let those thoughts flow on paper and don't limit yourself, and literally write your desires into your existence right now and just feel yourself into this positive state. It's an amazing thing to do. It doesn't take a lot of time. Give it 5 minutes and you will feel completely different. It will really help you start off your day in a completely different way. Now, the last thing that you should do every single morning after your journaling practice is meditation. I am a huge proponent of meditation, and it's a really wonderful way to clear your mind and center yourself, especially when you're in a state of fear and anxiety like we are right now. It is very hard to stop your thoughts from coming back and telling you that you can't do something and you're afraid of something, and oh my God, what if something happens today? So the best thing that you can do is to just take 10 to 15 minutes to meditate and calm your mind and just be still. There are infinite varieties of meditation. You can keep it really simple and just sit in silence for 10 minutes, or you can use a meditation app or a program. There are loads of free resources and paid programs too, and I encourage you to experiment and try some things until you find one that works for you. The final tip that I have for you for your self-care routine for your mind is to read. Now, this is something you may want to have as part of your morning routine, or it may be something you do later in the day or in the evening before bed. I personally think that everyone should do this, but especially entrepreneurs and people who are looking to grow themselves and attract more happiness and fulfillment into their lives. Fill your mind with things that will serve you. Read books about personal development, read books about spirituality, read a business book, and sometimes read a really great novel. It doesn't matter what it is. Pick up something you feel will serve you and your goals at any given moment and every single day, even if it's just for 10 to 15 minutes. Read a couple of pages in a book or listen to an audiobook so that you can continue to nourish your mind and feed your mind with new thoughts and new ideas that will help you get ahead and help you do the things you always wanted to do. Okay, now that we've taken care of the mind, let's move on to self-care for the body. Let's talk about how to be active and how to take care of your body. Over the years, I have definitely learned the lesson that being active and having a regular exercise routine is crucial. It is a mistake that I started to fall into a couple of times when things got really busy inside my business or my life, and I let my workout routine slide. And I kind of think of it like that quote from the Dalai Lama when somebody asked him how long he meditates for every day. And his answer was 1 hour every day, unless I'm really busy, and then 2 hours per day. And I love this. It's genius, and it is so, so wise. I mean, we're speaking about meditation, but I think this actually applies to any self-care ritual or habit that you can talk about. And of course, we're talking about exercise right now. And actually, just a side note, I actually did see the Dalai Lama speak once. It was many years ago in Vancouver. It was an event that was put on by Goldie Hawn when she was living in Vancouver, when she and Kurt Russell were in Vancouver for their son who was playing hockey. Anyway, I was living in Vancouver at the same time too, and we went to this auditorium where the Dalai Lama was speaking, and it was truly one of the most transformative days that I have ever experienced. Anyway, maybe I'll share more about that experience in a future podcast episode. But I'm talking about prioritizing self-care, and in this case, exercise. Not just when you have time for it, but even more so when you don't have time for it. I know you might be feeling like working out is not necessarily a great use of your time as you're building your business, and that instead of going for a run or doing a yoga class, you should put in more time at the computer. And those 30 minutes on a workout should really be spent on writing another sales page or going on social media or talking to a client or doing something else for your business. And this is a huge, huge mistake. Working out and staying active every day, it's an investment in your business. It's what will give you the energy and vitality and focus to be better at what you do in your business as a coach. So here I have 5 tips to help you look and feel your best when it comes to taking care of your body. So tip number 1 is very simple, and that is a 30 to 45 minute daily workout. Starting today, I want you to think about your workouts as rejuvenating and energizing instead of something that takes away your energy. Your workout is your stress relief, and instead of sapping your energy, it will give you more energy. Now, your workout can be whatever you want, and that's the beautiful thing about it. There are so many different options, and there is no need for this to be torture for you. For me, my favorite thing is my daily run outside by the ocean. In fact, I just got back from my run today. But before we went into self-isolation with this pandemic, I would walk my youngest son to school wearing my running gear and running shoes. And then I would take the scenic route home by the ocean, running for like a 4 to 5K run. Now I still do it, just minus the school part, of course. I am lucky enough to live in a climate that allows me to run year round. So this is perfect for me. It's a routine. I look forward to it and I love doing it early in the day. But you could do anything you like. A spin on your Peloton bike if you're lucky enough to have one, or you could go to the gym if that's what you like to do, of course, when we're all allowed to get to the gym again, or a workout class, or maybe at home using one of the awesome apps that are available, especially now. Working at home, of course, is what we all need to figure out how to do. But going forward, it might be a sport, playing tennis or basketball with a few friends, or it could be going for a swim. Again, many of these are going to have to wait until the world returns to normal, which it will. But for now, do your best. And ultimately, this is what you want to do, a 30 to 45-minute workout every day. Besides this daily workout, I also want you to go for a walk at some point during the day. I love walking, and it's a very different thing than running for me, obviously, and I protect my daily walks. Usually, I do this around lunchtime in the middle of the day. Walking outside, definitely. It's calming. Walking gets you out there and gets you breathing in fresh air, gets you some sunlight, and allows you to look around the world and calm your mind and maybe even process some things that you need to be processing and have no ideas about on your daily walk. I always come up with some amazing ideas and new solutions to things as I'm doing my daily walks. Tip number 3 is to get more sun. I actually believe that the sun is really important for you and your body, and I have found that getting a bit more sun actually energizes me. Of course, it has to do with vitamin D for sure, but there may be other factors too that we just don't really know about yet. But for me, getting even just a little sunlight every morning is so important, and it makes me feel like I'm part of the planet and soaking up this amazing energy that the sun can give us. Tip number 4 for taking care of your body is to get enough sleep. Now, this is something that a lot of people, especially busy entrepreneurs, will skimp on and sacrifice, and this is never okay. In the past, whenever I went through a busy phase and I was big time cutting back on my sleep, my health would start to suffer very shortly thereafter. It took me 2 different episodes of this to make me realize how important sleep was to me. And again, this was a situation of when the body says no. And I now understand it, but when I was younger, I guess I was more arrogant or ignorant maybe, I don't know. And I just thought that I could muscle through. You cannot muscle through. Sleep is not something you can sacrifice. Make sure you know how much you need personally to function optimally. And for most adults, it's of course around 8 hours, but maybe it's 7 for you, maybe it's 9 for you, but in that ballpark, and then protect it. Stick to your bedtime and your wake up time religiously. Your body will thank you. Trust me on that. Okay, my final step in caring for your body is yoga. If you haven't really been into yoga in the past, I really want you to give it a try. Yoga doesn't have to take much time, and there are so many yoga classes available, so many yoga studios out there. Of course, once we're able to go out to things like that again, but for now, you can definitely do yoga at home. In fact, this is my preferred way anyway. For me, yoga is something that I do every day, but I do prefer to do it at home at my own pace, and I usually use a yoga app or an online membership, or there are actually a couple of YouTube channels that I love, like Sarah Beth Yoga. I'll link that in the show notes. But for me, yoga is the perfect complement to running because it's slow. It's all about stretching and lengthening, and I love the meditative aspect and the breath work. Even if I just do 15 minutes of yoga, I feel amazing afterward. Okay, now that you're feeling good about your mind and your body, let's move on to the 3rd pillar of self-care, and that is your soul. Your soul has to do with connection. I believe that we can fuel our soul and feel great and feel happy when we have powerful connections in our lives. But sometimes as an entrepreneur, we feel so time-starved, and we tend to spend more time in our businesses with our clients and maybe with our teams, and we may neglect our family and our friends. So in order for you to refuel and fill your soul with happiness and connection, it's important to connect back to your family and your friends and the people that mean the most to you and spend some time with them. This is a really simple step, but it is very hard for many people to do because many entrepreneurs feel guilty spending time away from their business, or they feel that pressure about needing to spend more time in their business. But trust me, this is very important. As an entrepreneur, you may be working from home, which means that you will need to be very intentional about creating boundaries around your work and making sure that your work time isn't bleeding into family time or social time. After all, for many of us, one of the reasons we went down this entrepreneurial path was to have more time with the people we love, right? So now is no time to neglect this area of your life. Make sure you carve out time in your schedule to connect with your loved ones and spend quality time with them and really enjoy your days with the people in your life. This is your support network also, and trust me, this is something you are going to need when the going gets tough in your business. So don't make the mistake of being all business and no play. Now, this will look different for everybody. Maybe it's date night with your partner or Sunday brunch with your girlfriends. Of course, once we can do brunch again, which is incidentally something I am really missing right now, or movie night with your kids, whatever it is, it's not a luxury. It's actually a crucial part of your well-being. Okay, so there you have it. Those are my tips on building a self-care routine that supports you as an entrepreneur. I'm really curious to know what you thought about this episode and what your biggest takeaway was from today's episode. I'm also curious about your self-care routine. So if you'd like to share what your own self-care practices are, then head over to Instagram or Facebook and let me know. Let's have a conversation. You can find me on both of those platforms, and I'll put a link in the show notes to those. I'm hoping that you enjoyed listening to this topic, and I just want to thank you so much for being a listener of this podcast. If there's somebody that you know of who could benefit from this episode, it would mean a lot to me if you shared it with that person. I would love that. Until next time, take good care, have an amazing week, and stay safe. Bye for now. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode and you're keen to keep building your wellness coaching business, let's start by getting you some more clients. You can download my free guide called 3 Ways to Win New Clients This Week. In this 11-page workbook, I walk you through the simple steps to get you new coaching clients. Just 3 easy things that you can do right away. Visit drkimfoster.com/get new clients to download that workbook for free. That's all for today. I will talk to you in the next episode.